I said turn back, old man. Your name's not on the list.
Please, I only need a moment. Just let me...
Step back or I call the police.
I don't need to be on any list. I'm her father. I need to see her.
Don't make me say it again.
Please.
Inside the gates, laughter rippled through white tents and gold chairs. Champagne glasses clinked. A live band played something soft and joyful. Cameras flashed. Nobody noticed the man standing outside, not body except one person. The bride was halfway down the aisle when she lifted her eyes and froze. Her bouquet trembled in her hands. The music kept playing, but she couldn't hear it anymore. Her whole body had gone cold, like ice water had been poured straight into her chest. Guests turned to follow her gaze, murmuring, confused by the sudden stillness. He mouthed her name. Naya. She didn't move. She didn't breathe. 13 years of silence stood between them, and now he was standing at the gate like a ghost that refused to be buried. No one expected to see Adewale standing at the gate that day, not inside, where a father belongs, but locked out of his own daughter's wedding. To understand how it came to this, we have to go back, 13 years back. 13 years earlier, none of this seemed possible. Back then, Adewale was known around the neighborhood as a stubborn but gentle carpenter, the kind of man who could fix a broken table faster than he could smile. But when he did smile, it lit up the whole street. His wife, Amara, ran a small food stall by the roadside, and together they raised the light of their lives, a little girl named Naya, all giggles and gap-toothed grins, who followed her father around like a shadow whenever he walked with wood. "Daddy, can I hammer one nail?" she'd ask every single evening. "Only one," he'd say, laughing, "or your mother will hammer me." Amara would laugh from the doorway, flower on her hands, sunlight behind her. "Leave the child alone, Adewale. You will teach her to break things before she learns to build them." "She's not breaking anything. Watch her. Steady hands, just like her father." "God help us," Amara said, smiling. Two carpenters in one house. It was a simple, small, beautiful life, the kind people prayed for. Then Amara got sick. It happened fast. A cough that wouldn't go, a hospital bed that got smaller and smaller around her. Adewale sat beside her every night, holding her hand like it was the last solid thing in the world. "You have to eat something," he told her one evening, holding up a spoon she wouldn't take. "I'm not hungry, Adewale. You have to try, for Naya." At the mention of her daughter's name, her eyes filled with tears. She gripped his fingers tightly. "Promise me," she whispered. "Promise me Naya will never feel like she lost her mother and her father. Promise me she'll never feel abandoned, not by you, not by anyone. Whatever happens after I'm gone, whoever comes into this house, she comes first, always." "I promise," Adewale said, voice breaking. "I swear it, Amara. I swear on everything I have." She died 3 days later. If this story is pulling at your heart already, hit that like button right now. Trust me, it only gets heavier from here, and you don't want to miss what happens next. Drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. The years after Amara's death were hard, but strangely tender. Adewale learned to braid Naya's hair, badly at first, uneven and lopsided, until Naya herself started laughing at him instead of crying. "Daddy, it's crooked again." "It's not crooked, it's artistic. It looks like a bird built a nest on my head." "Well, birds are very skilled architects, so I'll take that as a compliment." He burned rice more times than he could count. He missed contracts and lost customers just to sit in a plastic chair at Naya's school recitals, clapping louder than anyone in the room. "You clapped too loud again, Daddy," Naya would whisper, embarrassed and glowing at the same time. "I have a right to be the loudest," he'd say. "You're the only daughter I have." But relatives began circling like vultures, smelling opportunity in grief. "A child needs a woman's hand," his sister said one evening, arms crossed, voice sharp with judgment. "You cannot raise a girl alone forever. What happens when she becomes a woman herself? Will you teach her that too?" "She's happy. We're happy." Happy is not the same as prepared. Think of her future, not just her present. He resisted for a long time, but loneliness is patient and pressure is relentless. Eventually, he gave in. That's when Celine walked into their lives. She was soft-spoken, elegant, endlessly patient. At the introduction dinner, she knelt down to Naya's eye level instead of talking over her head like the other women his sister had suggested. "You must be Naya," she said warmly. "Your father talks about you like you're the smartest girl in the whole city." Naya blushed. "He exaggerates." "I doubt that very much." She cooked Naya's favorite meals without being asked. She sat beside her during homework, praised her drawings, tucked her into bed with gentle stories. Slowly, carefully, Naya began to trust her. "Can I call you Mom?" Naya asked one night, no older than 11, eyes wide and hopeful. Celine smiled and pulled her into a hug. "Of course, sweetheart. I would love that. I would love that more than anything." Adewale watched from the doorway, relief flooding his chest. He thought, finally, that his daughter was safe, that the promised Lamara was intact. He had no idea the real story was only just beginning. If you've ever trusted someone who turned out to be wearing a mask, you already know where this is going. Smash that subscribe button so you don't miss what happens, because everything is about to change.
The wedding night ended, and something shifted in Celine like a switch flipping in the dark. It started small. A missing school assignment Naya swore she'd finished the night before. "I did it, Mom, I promise. I left it right on the table." "Well, it's not here now, is it? Maybe you dreamed you finished it." A packed lunch that mysteriously vanished before recess, leaving Naya hungry and too ashamed to tell anyone why. A favorite dress torn at the seams, blamed on playing too rough. "I didn't tear it. It was fine when I hung it up." "Children forget things sometimes, dear," Celine would say sweetly, right in front of Adewale, her voice dripping with gentle concern. "Maybe you should be more careful with your things." Adewale would nod along, distracted, tired from work, never noticing the flicker in her daughter's eyes, the silent plea for someone, anyone, to believe her. And the moment Adewale's key turned in the door each evening, Celine transformed. Warm eyes, gentle voice, a plate of her favorite food already on the table. "How was work, my love?" "Long, tiring, but good to be home." Sit, you look exhausted." "Naya, help me set the table for your father." Nobody saw the other Celine. The one who locked Naya out of the kitchen during dinner prep, hissing under her breath, "Don't you dare say a word to him about the lunch. You'll only upset him." The one who whispered, "Nobody will believe you," whenever Naya tried to speak up. "I'll tell Daddy," Naya said once, tears in her eyes. "I'll tell him what you really—" Celine crouched down, her voice suddenly ice cold beneath the smile. "And who do you think will believe? A tired old man who just wants peace in his house, or a little girl who suddenly can't stop causing problems since I arrived? Think carefully, Naya." Naya stopped trying to explain. She stopped trusting her own voice. Celine didn't stop there. She realized she couldn't remove Naya from the house, not without raising suspicion. So instead, she attacked the one thing standing between her and full control, the bond between father and daughter. She intercepted birthday cards Naya wrote for her father and never delivered them, tossing them into the bottom of a drawer no one else opened. She accidentally misplaced gifts Adewale bought for Naya, telling him afterward, "She said she didn't want it. Can you imagine? I told her how much you paid for it." She twisted conversations in both directions, telling Adewale that Naya had said cruel things she never said. "She told me she wishes you'd never remarried, that she blames you for everything." Telling Naya that her father was disappointed in her, tired of her, wishing she were more like other children. "He said it himself, sweetheart. I'm only telling you because I think you deserve to know." Slowly, the house grew quiet. Father and daughter, once inseparable, began passing each other in hallways without a word. Dinner became silence with the occasional scrape of cutlery. "How was school?" Adewale asked one night, not really looking up. "Fine." That was all. That was everything now. Naya stopped waiting by the door for him. Adewale stopped asking about her day entirely. Celine watched it all unfold with quiet satisfaction, like a spider adjusting the final threads of her web. Then came the final blow. Adewale had been saving money for months, capital for a new carpentry contract that could change their lives. Celine knew exactly where she kept it. One evening, she quietly moved the entire envelope of cash under Naya's mattress while the girl was at school. When the money went missing, the house exploded into chaos. Relatives were called, drawers were searched. Celine stood back, hand over her mouth, playing the picture of shock. "I don't want to accuse anyone," she said quietly, voice trembling with practiced hesitation. "But Naya has been asking for expensive things lately. Shoes, a new phone. I didn't think anything of it, but—" "Check her room," someone said. "That's not fair. Why would you even say that about me?" They found it, right where Celine had hidden it. Naya's whole world collapsed in that instant. "Daddy, I didn't take it. I swear on Mama's memory. I didn't touch that money. Someone put it there. Please, you have to believe me." Adewale's face twisted, not with doubt, but with something worse, betrayal. He'd trusted her. He defended her to relatives who whispered that she was becoming difficult. And now, standing in front of everyone, he felt humiliated. "How could you do this to me?" he said, his voice shaking with rage and shame. "After everything I've sacrificed." "I didn't do anything. Daddy, please look at me. You know me." "I don't know what to believe anymore." His hand rose before his mind caught up with his body. The slap echoed through the room. Silence swallowed everything after that. Naya's cheek burned red, but the pain in her chest was far worse. She looked at her father, the man who used to clap too loud at her recitals, and saw a stranger. "Get out of my house," he said, voice low and shaking. "Daddy, get out." Naya didn't argue. She didn't cry in front of him. She simply walked to her room, packed one small bag with trembling hands, and returned to the doorway. She stopped at the gate, turned back one final time. "Before Mama died," she said softly, "you promised her I would never feel abandoned." Adewale said nothing. "I guess promises don't mean much anymore." She walked into the darkness alone, and he let her go. If that scene just broke your heart, comment "promise broken" below. I want to know how many of you saw that betrayal coming. And if you haven't already, subscribe now, because what happens to both of them next will shock you.
Naya's new life began in the cracks of the city that nobody else noticed. She slept in church shelters when she had nowhere else to go, curling into corners with her one small bag as a pillow, listening to strangers snore around her and telling herself, "This is temporary, this is not forever." She washed dishes in restaurant kitchens until her fingers wrinkled and cracked. The first week, the head cook barked at her constantly. "Faster! We don't pay you to daydream." "I'm sorry, I'll be faster." "You'd better be. There are 10 girls who would take this job in a heartbeat." She swallowed her pride and worked harder, saving every coin she earned in an old tin box. At night, under flickering street lamps, she studied, determined that no one would ever call her worthless again. Slowly, she found people who saw her for who she really was. Mrs. Bankole, the restaurant owner, noticed her one evening scribbling equations on a napkin during her break. "What is this?" "Just math. I want to go back to school eventually." Mrs. Bankole studied her for a long moment. "You can stay in the back room until you find your feet. No rent. Just help me close up at night." "Why would you do that for me?" "Because somebody did it for me once. Pass it forward, child." A teacher at the night school Naya later enrolled in, Mr. Uche, noticed her sharp mind during a placement test. "This score is exceptional. Have you considered applying for the citywide scholarship?" "I don't have the money for the application fee." "I'll cover it. Consider it an investment. You'll pay me back one day, just not in money." Piece by piece, brick by brick, Naya rebuilt a life from nothing. She changed her name on her documents not out of shame, but survival. Naomi Adewale, a woman with no past attached to drag her backward. The scholarship came through, then a job, then an apartment with a door that locked from the inside, a door nobody could take away from her. Meanwhile, back in the house that had once been full of laughter, everything Adewale sacrificed his daughter for began to crumble. His carpentry business, once thriving, started failing. Celine had taken control of the finances long ago, and money disappeared faster than he could earn it. "Where did the equipment fund go?" he asked her one evening, staring at empty bank statements. "I invested it. You wouldn't understand these things, Adewale. Just trust me." "I trusted you with everything already. And look how well that worked out for both of us," she said coldly, walking away without another word. He isolated him from the relatives who once supported him, insisting they were bad influences whenever they visited. The children she eventually had with him grew up spoiled, entitled, disrespectful, nothing like the daughter he had once been so proud of. "Get me water," one afternoon, his son demanded, not even looking up from his phone. "Get it yourself. I'm not your servant." "Whatever, old man. Mom says you don't provide for this house anyway." He began to notice things too late. The disrespect in the children's voices, the emptiness in Celine's eyes whenever she looked at him now that the mask no longer needed to hold, the silence in a house that used to have Naya's laughter bouncing off every wall. Then, without warning, Celine left him, taking nearly everything of value with her, including the deed to a property he didn't even remember signing over to. "You can't just leave," he said, chasing her to the car. "Watch me," she replied, not even turning around. The children refused to help him. The same woman he had defended, believed, protected over his own daughter walked away without a shred of remorse. For the first time in years, the house fell completely silent, exactly the way it had the night Naya left. If you think karma is slow but never absent, type karma in the comments right now, because Adewale is about to learn just how true that is. Weeks later, cleaning out a dusty attic he hadn't touched in over a decade, Adewale's hand brushed against an old wooden box shoved into the corner. He pulled it down, coughing through the dust, and opened it. Inside were years of birthday cards addressed to him in a child's careful handwriting. Handmade Father's Day gifts wrapped in old crumbling paper. Letters, dozens of them written by Naya over the years, every single one hidden, every single one meant for him. "Dear Daddy," one read, the handwriting shaky with youth. "I made this card myself. I hope you like it. I miss when you used to braid my hair even though you were bad at it. I love you." And at the very bottom, folded gently, was Amara's old scarf. His hands shook as he read letter after letter, words a lonely little girl had written to a father she thought didn't care anymore, words that had never reached him because someone made absolutely sure they never would. He broke down right there on the attic floor, sobbing into his hands like the years had caught up with him all at once. "I'm so sorry," he whispered to no one. "I'm so sorry, Naya. I'm so sorry, Amara." His greatest mistake wasn't marrying Celine. It was choosing not to listen when his own daughter had begged, again and again, simply to be heard. For months afterwards, he searched everywhere for her. He asked old neighbors, distant relatives, anyone who might know something. "Have you seen my daughter? Naya, tall, dark eyes, would be in her 20s now." "Sorry, sir, I don't know anyone by that name." Some said she had left the country. Others said she had changed her name entirely, cut every tie to the past, buried the girl she used to be. Slowly, hope began to slip through his fingers. Then, one ordinary afternoon, a mysterious envelope arrived at his door. Inside was an elegant wedding invitation. His eyes scanned down to the bride's name, Naomi Adewale. A small handwritten note slipped out and fluttered to the floor. He picked it up and his hands began to tremble as he read the words scrawled across it. "Some daughters survive by becoming someone new." His breath caught in his throat. Naomi, Naya, She hadn't disappeared. She had simply rebuilt herself brick by brick, letter by unopened letter, into someone strong enough to survive what he had done to her. And now the story circles back to where it began. The gate, the wedding, the eyes locking across a crowd of strangers. Security blocks him again. "I told you already, sir, you need to leave." "Please, just 5 minutes, that's my daughter." The bride stands frozen in the aisle, memories crashing over her all at once. The braided hair, the burnt rice, the slap, the empty house, the years of silence. The groom, sensing the shift in the air, leans towards her gently and asks the question that will decide everything. "Do you know him?" Naya says nothing. She simply stares at the man who once chose someone else's word over hers, the same man who broke a promise made beside a dying woman's bed and let the silence answer for her. If you need to know what she says next, don't go anywhere. Smash that like button, subscribe right now, and comment part 2 so I know to bring you the rest of this story. Naya's answer is coming, and trust me, it's going to change everything.